This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Top beer, top beer, top beer.
Alrighty, welcome everybody to another episode of Top Beer. We've been on a little bit of a semi-hiatus. We had a couple of pre-recorded episodes. I was in Los Angeles a few weeks back, and I got to enjoy some delicious beers with Mr. Timothy Robert Buckner, my co-host, who's here with me tonight. Tim, how you doing?
I mean, we've been on hiatus, but the show hasn't. The show hasn't missed a week. We should have kayfabed these people and not made them think that we haven't been doing things. We've still been working on stuff, guys. I'm doing good, Adrian.
I totally screwed the pooch on that one. And as a first for this show, we have a guest. Dan Scotti is here tonight. Dan, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Nice.
I added a little sound effect to the. I feel like Stone Cold. I feel like he would do that. I'm doing all right. I'm ready to. I've got some beers that I waited 45 minutes online for at a can release, and I'm ready to drink them. So.
Wow.
Oh,
that is dedication.
yeah, there's a
whole to do.
There was a monkish can release today, and I wish I had just gone because. Eventually, they were tweeting out, they're like, we got about 3 cases left and nobody in line. So anyone who can get down here. And I was like, it's just far enough away that I was like, I don't know if I'll make it back in time for the podcast if I had driven out there and just picked up some. So unfortunately, I missed the can release myself. But no lines for Monkish. Which brewery did you pick up these cans from, Dan?
I went to Magnify, which is one of the top breweries in my home state of New Jersey. They've been, they've actually like made a huge name for themselves in just doing these can releases. They have a pretty big cult following in New Jersey. The bar I work at, whenever we don't have Magnify, people are pretty upset by it, but it's not always readily available. They do, they're in high demand in the state of New Jersey.
Now, I feel like a jerk for being the only one here who hasn't gone to a can release, so I'm going to have to soon enough pop my can release cherry for this show.
I don't know if I told my first can release story on here, but it was kind of an accident for me. I actually was just going to the brewery, Highland Park Brewery, and they happened to be doing a can release that day, and it was like their first one. So it was actually kind of a little bit before the can release craze had really taken over in Los Angeles. So there was no line. Anyone could just get them. They're just kind of nonchalant, buying them out of like a shipping container or whatever. So it's definitely becoming a thing even here in Los Angeles, but I think it's even bigger on the East Coast. Would that be right, you think, Dan?
I guess so. I thought that they were always like a big thing. That was just the notion I had, that like for the bigger and better breweries, I guess that was just what I assumed they did. But Magnify, like, you're right, the first time I went, they just had extra cans of like their flagship that they double dry hopped, and I bought a couple 4-packs of them. And then the second time I went in, they had stuff left over that like they just done a can release. And now with this, like, I don't think there's any left. Like after, I don't know why the line was so long, or maybe they've put this out before and people were trying to get their hands on it. But they've like made I guess it's a bigger East Coast thing, because I follow Trillium on Twitter and they're always posting about all their can releases and such.
I used to judge people who stand in line for shoes. You know how when a new shoe drops, but here we are being the kind of people that would stand in line for a can of beer or a can release. So. Guess you can't really.
What have we become? Yeah, I used to do the same thing. The thing is, we're not paying $600 for a beer we'll never drink.
That's true.
Drinking the beer.
Yeah,
we're
a valid point.
Yeah, and when it's 45 minutes and you're definitely going to get it is not insane.
Yeah.
I think Monkish has a new system where all they do is they don't announce the can release until day of, because the lines were getting too out of hand, I think, and people were like paying Postmates to wait in line for them and shit. That stuff's too much, but the way that they're doing it now, I'm back on board where I'm like, oh, I'll go to one if like I can, because unfortunately it's like 30 minutes from my work, or 30 minutes from my house, which is another 30 minutes the opposite way from my work. So a lot of times they're announcing it and it's like, oh, this would be an hour drive to maybe get there after work. But if I'm off and they announce one on a day that I'm off, I might just jump over there and grab one because I know that the line's only going to go for like an hour at the most. But Adrian,
Yes, sir.
I think we should start drinking about beers rather than just talking about them.
Yes, I agree, and I will do the honors if you guys don't mind. My first beer tonight. This is from a brewery that I haven't really had much of, but I saw them today. I thought, and I saw the beers they had available. I was like, I have to try these. These all sound so delicious. So my first one. This is from the Denver Beer Company. That's my brewery tonight. The Denver Beer Company, their sun-drenched exploratory ale. Ooh, sounds fancy, doesn't it? This is 5.0 ABV. Yeah, that's so simple white can. Not too crazy with not too much graphic art on here, but let's go ahead and open her up. See what she tastes like. Have you guys had anything from Denver Beer Company at all, by chance?
I have not.
Not that I remember off the top of my head. I did notice a favorite of the Top Beer podcast here that Dan was just drinking. It says 3 hours ago on Untapped. Yeah, I'm stalking your Untapped from Uinta Brewing. That's a brewery that me and Adrian both like quite a bit.
Yes.
But yeah, I've never seen this Denver brewery. Adrian, what are you thinking so far?
So I just opened it up. Let's see here. That smells really good. It smells. It's definitely a hop forward beer, obviously. Oh, hold on. Do you guys hear that? What is that?
Yeah.
I went to Denver Beer Company's website to have some info pulled up, and they have some stuff that plays in the background. I won't do that again. All right, so let's go ahead and give her a quick sip. Oh, that is super. That's really refreshing. It's a hop forward beer, but it doesn't. It doesn't. The hoppiness doesn't stay in your mouth. You know what I mean? It's more like it's a little bit more watery, but watery and refreshing, not super crisp. You know how some beers can be kind of crisp. This doesn't do that, but it's really good, and it's exactly what I was expecting. A nice, refreshing, refreshing can of beer. Let's see what she has on Untapped. Let's see what the score is going to be. And by the way, if you guys have, I'm sure Tim, but yeah, we usually try to have the Untapped app handy so that you can rate the beer that you're drinking as we do the show, and then we can actually see what the average score is on there. And for those of you listening, follow us on Untapped. I'm at Della Boots. Tim is at Lucha Undead. Dan, what is your Untapped profile?
At Dan Scotti. I keep it simple.
Nice. Okay. So the average score for this beer, out of 5,176 ratings, is 3.58. Not bad. Not terrible. Not a terrible score at all. Part IPA, part American wheat. That's what it is. Straw-colored ale loaded full of hops with crisp, dry finish. That's what it is. I wouldn't say it's that crisp, but it definitely has a dry finish. So that's my first beer for the night. Pretty good. Pretty delicious. Tim, what's your brewery tonight, and what's your first beer from them?
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that you actually, by doing so, allowed me to be the one who shows, some manners, I would be more upset at you. But I'm going to go ahead and let the guest go before me, just because he is the guest on the show, Adrian.
See, this is a learning curve. We never have a guest on the show, so I'm learning what it's like to have a guest on Top Beer.
This is like a manners.
Yeah, this is not only is it a beer podcast, it's a manners podcast as well. We don't just review, we also teach.
Well, I'm sorry, Dan. I just defaulted to me going first. I apologize.
You're all good. As a host of a podcast myself, I'm terrible with my guests. So, but yeah, so I've got this Magnify Peak Oil. I was expecting, just based on the can, that I was in for something super super hoppy and probably dank. Because oil, I was thinking of THC oil, because that's where my head went. But
I was thinking stout or something maybe.
No, they do a lot of like double dry hopping, and they're all unfiltered. They do a stout here and there, but so what we're working with here, according to Untapped, is an Imperial IPA hop with Citra, Mosaic, and Amarillo in the kettle, and then it's dry hop with Citra and Mosaic lupulin powder, and then they condition it in Apollo hop oil before they package it. It's got how many check-ins are we working with here? It's got 2,527 check-ins and 1,571 ratings at 4.25 as the average.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm about to take a sip here.
That is a very good score. I rarely see beers scored that high in Untapped. I don't know about you guys, but most of the beers I drink are.
Yeah, neither do I. But that's worthy of it. It's cool because it's like smooth. I'm like stealing from Untapped, but it's like smooth and tropical is the first thing, and like for as much hop as I was expecting from it, it's like not really in your face hoppy.
Yeah.
But it's like got like that. I guess if you want to call it that, New England, so that East Coast style IPA like that, or that New England style IPA, because it's like, hazy and unfiltered, and it's got that citrus, I guess more of a citrus back end than a citrus front end, but it's still, I'm kind of blown away with. I was not expecting to enjoy this. I'm glad I bought this.
It sounds like, would you say it's a good summer beer, a good beer to take to the pool or something like that?
Definitely a good pool IPA, because I've gotten cans from them this summer that were like summery IPAs, and they were like still too hot forward to sit out in 90-degree weather by the pool and drink. Like this is a perfect pool beer.
Nice. All right.
And so their can releases are of beers that they do regularly or semi-regularly still?
They'll. I guess this one they've done before. I've never had it, but I think they're more experimental with their cans, because like, and they do it every other Wednesday. So like the Wednesday before this, they did this like a session IPA, and before that they did like super juicy IPAs that like had a bunch of pineapple and strawberry in them, and then I guess the one before that would have been the one that I bought, like just walking into the brewery, not online, waiting for 45 minutes, and they've all been different from the next. They might bring stuff back around here and there and tweak things, and maybe they double dry hop a flagship, or they add like guava to their saison or something like that. But they always, I guess every now and then they'll cycle in something they've done before.
Okay. But do they have like a tasting room where they just have stuff on tap, like, and also like what are you guys messing with at the bar? You guys aren't selling the cans. Do you guys have kegs or? Yeah,
we get their stuff. We right now, because we're like such a new client to them, we only have the Vine Shine, which is their flagship IPA. But other bars in the area, other bars in the area will do, they have like a Search Saison, which is good, and they'll always put out a version of that like with another fruit, or like there was like Likey or whatever on the one I saw on tap today when I was in the tasting room, but I just was in a rush and didn't have time to sit down and taste it.
Yeah, sorry. I guess it's our fault, Tom. We were rushing you out of the.
No. I was expecting to be 20 minutes. I put in for a pizza while I was waiting online, and I subjected my girlfriend to the heat while we stood in the line, and she was more interested in the pizza than she was at either of these IPAs. So I was just like, we just gotta get out of there. I'm already messed up.
Yeah, because there's two totally different schools of thought, I think, from like some places. Like a lot of the places out here are doing super like limited release canning. Like all their canning stuff is something that's a one-off and it's only going to be in those cans. And then other places are just doing like, they do their special canning events, but it's just cans of stuff that they have like all the time. So it's interesting to hear like what they're doing at this particular brewery. But I guess I'll get into my beer now. So I got something that's actually out, I guess not technically your neck of the woods, but it is to me. Sixpoint Brewing is who I'm going with tonight. Me and Dan had actually talked about their beers before. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get, I think, either of the beers that we had talked about. What I got is the Sweet Action, the Blonde Ale. I kind of wanted to try different flavors because everything that they have that I can get out here regularly is IPAs, except for this one, it seems. Or I guess I can get the Pilsner, but otherwise everything else is IPAs. Not that like that's bad, but I do. I was
like gonna say you got something against Pilsners.
No. I said IPAs, man. The Pilsners are fine. I just didn't grab the pills, unfortunately.
You gotta take your pills, Tim.
A Blonde Ale. I should. I've liked stuff from them. I like the Jammer quite a bit. I've been told that the Puff is very good. I'd like to give that a shot if I ever see it. Hopefully, I've had the low res. I enjoyed that, but tonight I've got the Blonde Ale. These come in these cool cans that kind of remind me of the Red Bull cans. They're kind of narrow and tall. So
Yeah, they
this
do have that.
Is it a normal 12-ounce can though, or is it like less?
I think it's 12. Yeah, 12 ounces.
Nice.
I like if they have their SRM on the can. That's nice because when I'm picking out beers, I like to know the SRM when I'm making my decision.
What's
on what beer I'm gonna
SRM?
drink.
Tell us about that.
It's a color thing. I don't even know what SRM stands for, but it's used to denote the colors of the beer. Do you know what it stands for, Dan?
I did at one time.
Let's see. SRM beer. So I looked this up. You can tell us about it.
I'm gonna look up the name of it because it's gonna try. Oh, standard reference method. That's what it is.
Okay.
Supplier relationship management. No, I'm just kidding. The SRM number was originally and still is defined by beer color intensity on a sample free of turbidity and having the spectral characteristics of an average beer is 10 times the absorbance of the beer measured in a half-inch cell with monochromatic light at 430 nanometers. I have no idea what that means. I still don't understand what that means.
It means like how light it travels through it. This is an interesting beer. It's really refreshing, but also in like kind of crisp, nice lightness. But then it has a decent little bite on the back that kind of tastes. It kind of tastes like a lager, but I guess they say it's just a blonde ale. But it tastes kind of similar to that with the kind of biscuity bite on the end, bittering from more. You could tell more from malt than from hops. It's a nice. It's blonde, but it's actually a little bit darker than most like blondes. When you think of blondes, it's not just like yellow. It's a little tinge of amber. This is good stuff. I actually really like it. I think everything I've tried from Sixpoint so far is pretty good. They've been around for a while. I like their edict. They kind of I think they refer to as mad science beer style and stuff like that. They got beer as culture all over everything, which is kind of a nice play on words. And they're coming out of the Red Hook district of Brooklyn, New York, which I've always loved just because I liked Taz, the professional wrestler. And I knew that he was from Red Hook, and I just think it sounds cool. So kind of never been there, but I don't know. Dan, do you have any experience with Red Hook?
With Red Hook, no, not at least maybe when I was in it, I didn't know I was in it, but no, I don't think I've ever been to the Red Hook district. I also don't know if I'm going to travel. Well, actually, they invited me. My bar had a launch party with them for their low res beer that they just put out this summer, and I actually had the pleasure of serving all of them. And so they gave me like their business card, and they don't have a tasting room yet, but they told me that if I just wanted to come check out the place, I could. So shout out to the boys at Sixpoint, and
very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, I got really lucky there. But they're good dudes.
But yeah, actually, this is nice. It's got a little sweetness too. I really actually enjoy this beer quite a bit. Talk about pool beers. This is a pool crusher. I think I would spend more time drinking this than I would want to spend actually in the pool. That's how good it is.
That sounds like a pretty good beer. What are you going to give it on Untappd, by the way?
Oh, that's a good question. So the Untappd average right now is 3.49, and I'm going to do a little bit of a kind of strategic voting because I think that's too low. So I'm just going to give it 4-star because I actually like it quite a bit.
Wow.
Or I guess they're bottle caps. I don't even know.
That means a lot coming from you because you told me the other day that I'm a very what did you say? I'm a nice rater or what did you tell me about?
I am too, man. I'm with you.
Generous. I'm very generous with my ratings. Yeah.
I think a lot of people are naturally because beer is good, so you don't want to rate it. But like to me, I'm always like, you got the full 5, so you might as well use it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm a Lyft driver. I know all about ratings and how important they are.
Lyft is different, okay? Like Lyft and Uber and shit. Like I know it's 5 no matter what because
no matter
anything
what
else fucks with. Yeah, because anything else fucks with someone's like ability to make money.
Yeah. And
I'm not trying to hate on anybody making money, you know, but I guess you could try to say the same thing about Untappd, but realistically, if you're not making, double juice bomb hazy IPAs, I don't think too many people care too much about your Untappd score.
All right, Tim.
Yeah.
What's up?
No, I was just going to say, all right, well, with that said, anything else you guys want to say about your beers before we go on our first break? I
do want to say to Tim, don't you feel that's kind of your beer, the Sweet Action, is similar to that of a cream ale in summer? It's probably Like if you're
Yeah.
gonna categorize it like that, it's like probably my favorite cream ale I've ever had because that style really doesn't do a lot for me.
Yeah, I could definitely. That actually seems more correct. You're right. I do like the Cali Cream one, but that's like really sweet for a cream ale. And I actually just had another cream ale pretty recently that I liked, but I don't remember what it was. Even though I'm on this app that kind of logs all the beers that I've drank, I'm not gonna look for it.
I could have sworn you recently had one on this show. But
I would put it definitely in the upper echelon of cream ales if you called it that style. But I mean, I actually would even put it in the upper echelon of blonde ales, honestly, because I'm not even super big on blonde ales. So
I did.
Yeah.
I like where you're going. I like that upper echelon of beers. I don't really like that much.
I want to open a
Nevertheless.
brewery just to call a beer Two Non-Blonde Ale or something like that. That's what I want to.
They should. You're right. Someone should do that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna go on our first break, and when we come back, we will do our second beer. And we're only doing 2 beers tonight, right? Just making sure. Each 2 beers each. Okay, perfect. So we'll go on a break, and when we come back, we'll do our second beer.
Place to Be Nation's JT Rosero and Chad Campbell here. We want to let you know that we have a ton of great podcasts available to you on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and PlayStation.com, and we offer those to you on 3 great feeds. On the Place to Be Nation Wrestling feed, we bring you the Mothership, the original Place to Be podcast, as well as Main Event, Lucha Afterground, and our monthly pay-per-view reaction shows, as well as the Our Vantage Point podcast and Jeff Learns Wrestling. In addition to these full-length shows, we also deliver quick-hit pod blasts on topics old and new.
All right, so we're back. Just to recap, let's all say what breweries we're doing tonight. I'm doing the Denver Beer Company. Dan, what are you doing tonight?
I'm doing 6-Point.
Tam, you're doing Sixpoint.
I just put back a Magnify that was 9% that I should have mentioned it was, but it was the easiest drink at 9%
Nice.
I've ever had in
nice.
my entire life.
It's called Magnify Brewing Company. Is that what it's called?
Yep, that's the name.
Cool.
Out of Fairfield, New Jersey.
Fairfield, New Jersey. All right. Well, from the Denver Beer Company, my next and final beer. We're only doing 2 beers tonight. This is the Princess Yum Yum Raspberry Kolsch. Ooh, right? I've been wanting to try some Kolsch beers lately, and I finally found one today that looked really interesting. It's a 4.8% alcohol. So let's go ahead and try that out. All right. Let's see. Oh, I can smell the raspberries. Ooh. That is very Kolshy.
Is it?
It is. It's what, because a Kolsch, I mean, what is a Kolsch really, Tim? What is a Kolsch really? I mean, how different is it from like, a lager or a pilsner? I mean, what do you know? What do you know about Kolsch's? About Kolsch?
Oh God! You know what's great about this episode is that we have Dan here who like has beer certifications. I couldn't say for sure what I know. I think Kolsch is. Oh God! I want to say like Czech or. That might even be wrong. It might be like German or something. But Dan, what is Kolsch?
It is German. It's I think the origin is it's called Kolsch because it's from Cologne, in Germany. Oh, I just wikied it. I was right. So for me, if I'm going off of my experience with Kolsch's, that they're Pilsner-esque.
Yeah.
But they've got a little more spice going on to them. I'm gonna defer to the wiki and maybe Beer Advocate because maybe they know a little bit more than we. But that was so they're like pale and the Beer Advocate saying they're a little grapey and dry. I guess. So I guess they're not spicy. Just the couple I've had have been like had a little bit of spice going on there, which I dig. We have a brewery in New Jersey called Zigmeister, which is very into like making German style beers, and they do a pretty good Kolsch. Actually, New Jersey, I guess, Second Act, this very new brewery in New Jersey, also started working. Their second beer they put out, like that's how new they are, was a Kolsch, and it's actually really nice. So, but it's it's a simpler style. I feel like I guess it's closer to being like a very pure beer style. Like there's not like I guess a raspberry Kolsch was like very different for what a Kolsch usually is.
Yeah.
Like, is it pink?
Yeah, no, it's very pink and definitely tastes like raspberry. It's not super sweet. It's not. It's a little tart. It's probably more tart than it is spicy, and it's definitely fruity. It's definitely light. It's really good. I saw this and I thought this just sound. I just like the name Princess Yum Yum, like that. Just that alone was what kind of drew me to it.
That's a good name.
And according to the can, it's made with real raspberries, and I like I like raspberry stuff. Like if you guys ever go to like those restaurants that has that big soda machine where it has like the touch screen where you like choose from all kinds of different sodas and stuff.
Yeah.
I always get the raspberry
Freestyle.
ginger ale. You guys ever have a raspberry ginger ale? It's
Oh,
delicious.
it sounds
I have.
lovely though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seagrams. Those things always have Seagrams.
Yes, Seagrams.
Which is good. I like a Seagram's ginger ale with a Seagram's gin. I like that as a cocktail.
Oh man, look at
Personally.
you, brand loyal.
Seagrams and Seagrams.
But this is really good, guys. This is really good. I really enjoy it. It's got an average score on. I think it's kind of unfair, but it's got an average score on Untappd of a 3.58, which I think is pretty low. I don't normally
Isn't that
drink
your
Kolsch.
last two? Are you just drinking 3.58s all night?
I think so. I think that's. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna be generous tonight, as Tim says. I'm gonna give it a 3.75. How about that?
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. 3.75. Again, for those of you listening, follow us on Untappd. I'm at Della Boots. Tim is at Lucha Undead. Dan, what are you at again? Dan
Scotti.
Dan Scotti. Follow Dan. Dan Scotti. Oh, and Dan.
You can follow Dan on Untappd at suplexcop.de.
I should change it.
Yes. You should just everything. Your entire brand needs.
I just got the Twitter handle Suplex Cop. I'm keeping it on reserve. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I did just get that.
Fantastic. I'm happy that you have that on lockdown, just in case, or just when you decide to unleash it.
Yeah, to the world.
So Dan, so tell us what's your next beer tonight?
Before I do, is how close to that is like, because you said it's a little tart. How close to that is like a Weiss beer, or like a set like. Because that's what it sounds like. If it's like a raspberry Kolsch, I equate to like a 6-point little raspy, which if you've never had it, it's like a Berliner Weiss, and it's a really nice and easy drinking raspberry beer.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say, to be honest. I feel like aren't Weiss beers a bit more malty than like what you would get with like a regular Kolsch or something along those lines?
I guess, but not by much. They're a little just more sour. They're still a little pale, but they're a little more sour than they are, I guess, Kolschy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just like raspberry, so I guess I'm just biased. This has a super raspberry flavor.
I'm happy for you that you're drinking that.
Yeah, and what I like is that it's a raspberry flavor, but it's not super sweet. Tim knows this. I hate sweet beers. I don't like when my beer is sweet. If it's fruity, is fine, but I don't want sweet. And this has a nice balance of just enough sweetness, tartness, and fruitiness that I think goes very well. So, it's delicious. Very delicious.
Awesome. And then for me, so I guess they were running a theme with Magnify with this can release, because I had Peak Oil first, and now I'm about to crack open Peak of Ripeness, which is dry hop with Nelson Sauvin hops, and it's like a super tropical fruit IPA.
Nice.
Probably a juice bomb. Very excited for it. Yeah.
Would you
just
say
based
you're
on the way-
cracking the cold one with the boys?
Cracking a cold one with the boys. I'm such a mark in my Magnify Brewing glass that I bought today.
Ooh.
Because I wanted to give them exact change instead of have them make change for me.
Do you
I pay
guys
cash.
do you guys know how that meme started? Cracking a cold one with the boys. I'm really curious
No.
about that. Yeah,
I would assume Alan Strickland Williams started it.
You can assume Alan Strickland, a former friend of the show,
He's been on a different podcast we've done.
an old podcast of ours. Let's see. I'm trying to find you on Untappd, Dana. And how do you add someone on Untappd? This app is so weird.
Oh, you know what? That every time somebody tries to add me, I always go through this. There's a button. If you go to your if you go to your profile, the top left button, there's a friends icon. You press that, and you go to add.
Oh,
at the top right, and then that'll set you up with.
There we go. Okay. See, you should just be a regular co-host.
I'm down with being a co-host. It seems like there's not a lot of responsibility in that. I'm all about that.
Being just a regular co-host is almost no responsibility. So going down the food chain, I mean, it gets to the point where you're like loosely affiliated to the show. Honestly,
you will be deputy co-host. How about that? Deputy co-host of Top Beer.
Deputy co-host, I can live with. Rent a
Nelson
co-host.
Mandela. Nelson Mandela remained co-host the entire time he was in prison. That's how little responsibility it entails.
That would be a good name for a beer, by the way. If you want to do like a social, events themed brewery, like the Nelson Mandela Pale Ale or something like that.
Well, this beer, this peak of ripeness, is dry hop with Nelson Sauvin hops, and so it's as close to Nelson Mandela.
Someone has to have done a Nelson beer that's called Nelson Mandela. Now I need to look that up.
You should do that.
Every time my friends from England, when I drink with them, they always cheers to Nelson Mandela, may he live on. That's their go-to cheers.
Nice.
Good one. Okay, so there's many Nelson Mandela beers.
See?
I think the best one here is Mandela, in parentheses, with Nelson, Great Notion Brewing out of New England. Then there's a couple that are just called Nelson Mandela.
I was going to say this has to be New England hop, because I'm telling you, this does not. You don't get closer to a New England style IPA than what I have sitting in front of me right now. It is.
How is
easy.
that, by the way? How's that tasting?
I haven't even tried it yet. I just finished pouring. I did a terrible job pouring it, so I had to wait a second for it to settle.
It's okay. You're doing a terrible job pouring it. I'm doing a terrible job being a host, so it's all good. We're all.
Yeah, it's what we do here. Wow, this is a juice bomb. And my God, is it wonderful! I'm very, very happy about this beer.
I'm happy that you're happy about that. By the way, that makes me.
That's what I dig it. I'm gonna go probably 4.5 on this guy.
Nice.
That's a good score.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, this is really good. I'm gonna let you guys know in a second what it's got on the. Okay, so it's got a 4.18 average. The details are that it's a juicy New England style IPA, and it's dry hopped. But I guess I'm in the minority that thinks this is a 4.5. But still, 4.18 is pretty good. I can't believe the other, but the other one is really good for what it is. The peak oil, because it was a 9% beer that was extraordinarily balanced for something that was 9%. Like. Weyerbacher Bear Monks is the only other thing I can think of that's like that heavy that you don't even realize you're drinking something that's so heavy.
Yeah.
So working in the industry, I just recently heard some people complaining about the idea of guys who come into the craft beer bar or the brewery and are looking for the highest ABV beer that you guys have. Do you see that happening at your bar, and does it annoy you as well?
The only reason it would annoy me is because sometimes people I guess there's two schools of thought for me that why it would annoy me. The first is that being someone who is tip certified, which means that restaurants and bars will get you tip certified because they want to lower their insurance. So if you're tip certified, all accountability for me, and I don't know if it's like this in either in other states, but in the state of New Jersey, if I overserve somebody and I'm tip certified, literally, and they get into an accident or whatever, all accountability falls onto the restaurant, but more specifically me, because I should have known better. So I always groan when someone's like, yeah, what's your highest ABV beers? And they drink like a 10% and then an 11% beer, and then they ask for a third one. I'm like, nah, why don't you drink a Pilsner, man? You drink a little 4 or 5 Pilsner. Calm down a little bit.
But that is insane to me, what you just said.
Go.
No, I'm just saying that what you just said about the liability would be on you. That's crazy to me. That really is.
It's the silliest thing. Especially with our tip certified, the guy who certified me to be tip certified said, he goes, it doesn't matter if they post on the person who gets into an accident under your watch posts on Facebook and says, I'm trying to get so fucked up and, kill somebody drunk. They could literally post that on Facebook and then go out, drink their face off. You could be the last person to serve them. and then they get in the car and get a DUI, blah blah blah, like vehicular manslaughter, all that. And despite the fact that they said that was their intention, it's still my fault because I enabled it. Yeah,
is there precedent for that? Like, has there been a case where that happened? I mean, I'd like to hear, but like we look into that.
I don't know specifically, but I know that that's how New Jersey comes down on individuals who work in the service industry.
Yeah, New Jersey seems like such a weird state. No offense, Dan. No offense.
No, none taken.
I've never been to the East Coast, so I may be super biased, but New Jersey just seems like a weird place. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a very weird place.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just the perception I have from TVs and movies and the internet. But like, you can't pump your own gas over there. Like, that to me is the strangest thing of all. You know,
it is weird.
So how does it work? You pull up and you're like, "Fill her up, please," and some dude
say,
comes
hey,
out.
Can you fill it regular or could you regular $25 cash, please? Because I don't want to spend any more than that. And they do that, and then
what if you're using debit? Do you just?
Oh, then you say, I guess I always pay cash for gas. Or if I do pay debit, I'm just like, fill it up. I don't care what it costs. Just
right. But do you swipe your own card, or do they have like a little handheld machine?
No, they take your card and they put it in, and
that's so
weird. There was actually a thing in New Jersey. This has to be like almost 10 years ago, where people were taking cards and not putting your card in, but then not actually like putting the thing in your. I don't know. It's a whole fucking scandal.
What's the minimum wage in New Jersey? Tell me that really quick. I'm curious.
I think it's $8.53 now. It was $8.38 the last time I got paid minimum wage, but I think it's $8.53 now.
Wow. So these guys making $8.53 pump your gas, and everybody goes home and dies a little.
They might
inside.
make a little bit more than that. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
I would assume they get paid a little bit more just because they're actually kind of doing something. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're like, because we have people who do it, like, they're in it for the most part. Rain, shine, every holiday, like they're in the trenches.
Yeah,
like, if it could be snowing, they have to be there.
So is it like with the postman? Like, you should tip the postman during the holidays because he's doing work, through the. Is it the same thing with the gas station attendants? Like,
people do.
Yeah.
Not everybody does. It depends, and like occasionally they'll work for it, where they're like, they'll clean your windshield and they'll do this, they'll do that. It depends on it. For me, it depends on the day. Sometimes I'll do it because it's freezing cold, and one, I don't want to wait for change, and two, I'm like, hey, you know what? This guy's out here in 10-degree weather. Fuck it, I'll give him $3 for standing here. And
you could say you could take them home and say crack a cold one open with the boys. You know what I mean?
Crack a cold one open with the boys. I don't know if they're gonna like this shit that I drink. Well, so now I'll go to my second point about working at the kind of bar that I do. I work in a craft beer bar, and it's a constantly rotating draft list, and you get a lot of guys who come in and are very disturbed when they're like, I want a Bud Light draft, and I'm like, that's not a thing here. Or they're like, I want a Stella draft.
People actually say that at a craft beer at a brewery.
Well, because people don't know what they're walking into, and I'm like, yeah, we don't do that. We're a craft beer bar. And they're like, isn't Stella a craft beer? Or they'll be like, oh, then I'll take a Blue Moon. I'm like, no, my friend, Blue Moon is not craft beer. And then they're confused. They don't know what to do.
In their mind, it's craft beer because it's like to them that's the fancy beer you get at sit down casual like restaurants like Burgers and Beers or something like that. You know what I mean?
Sure, but a lot of times you'll get. So then when I tell them, we got 40 different beers and it's rotating draft, blah blah blah. People will be like, okay, what do you recommend? And I'm like, what I recommend is like a sour beer with lactose that has, it's got lactose and it's dry hopped and it's a sour. And they're like, well, I don't want that. And I'm like, okay, so pick something. And you'll also get guys who come in and they're like, they have a rough day at work. So like, give me the highest ABV beer you got. And like very recently it was from Cascade. It was like their Northwest Manhattan or whatever it was called. And it was like at 11% and cost $20. So then you got to talk to them and be like, all right, it's $20 beer. I don't think you want it. They'd be like, okay, fine. What's the next thing? And then it would be like a Saranac bourbon stout. And they'd be like, okay, I'll drink it because you said bourbon. And they'll drink it and be like, oh, it's a dark beer. I don't like dark beer. I'm like, motherfucker, you asked for the highest ABV. Or they'll get something that's
right.
it's like a double dry hopped IPA that's like 10%, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want this," and I'm like, "You asked for the highest percent ABV. What do you think you were gonna get?"
See,
So I don't know. I guess
if it was me, I would be like, motherfucker,
discussion.
go to a bar and order a shot of whiskey. Like, what are you coming here for? Who goes to a craft brewery to unwind from the day, like, that they want to get that,
You know,
Hopefully more people, Adrian, so that the craft beer scene continues to grow.
But you don't want that clientele, is
I'm
what
just
I'm
messing
getting at.
around.
You don't want that clientele. You know, they can go
You're
go
right.
pound sand somewhere else, is what I'm getting at. Sorry, go ahead.
no, this is my favorite thing you get with people, and this happened a lot more when we first opened. Somebody would order, like something simple. They'd order like a Harpoon UFO White, and it comes in for us. It's a 14-ounce pour, but it comes in an 18-ounce glass because we
Wow.
put like a nice thick head on it. But it's like a tulip glass. So people would get that and be like, "No, I can't drink this. You got to put this in a 16-ounce glass." So then you'd be like, "Okay, asshole," and you pour it for them in a 16-ounce glass, and it wouldn't be filled all the way. And they'd be like, "Well, now you need to fill it all the way," and be like, "No, motherfucker, it's a 14-ounce pour. Here's a 16-ounce glass. Your beer's not full all the way." And they're like, people would freak out, and you'd be like, just because you feel, emasculated by holding a tulip glass.
Hey, I like holding a tulip glass. I actually
am I.
feel
The
more
glass I'm
masculine
currently
when I drink
drinking
out of
has
a
a stem.
tulip glass.
Same.
So I have a stupid question for you, and I may have missed it. So you work at an actual brewery tap room, for Harpoon? Is that what you're saying?
No. I work for Revolution. It's not the brewery Revolution. I work for a craft beer bar in Morristown, New Jersey called Revolution, and they've got like 40 beers on tap, and they're constantly rotating. And that's my thing right now. I've been to the Harpoon Brewery, which is a lovely establishment. Would recommend anybody who is visiting the greater Boston area to give it a look.
Nice. Okay.
That's what we'll do if I'm ever out that way. That's for sure.
Yeah, when we
Yeah.
do the official Top Beer Road Brewery tour, we'll make a stop at Harpoon,
I like it. I like the sound of that.
and then we'll head down to New Jersey and meet up with Dan and have some beers with him. I don't know. Are you south or north? I don't know the East Coast. Are you south or north of Boston? Another stupid question.
I'm very south of Boston. I'm like
Okay.
4 hours south of Boston.
See, I don't know the East Coast. I apologize. I don't think Tim knows the East Coast that well, so I don't think he can give me shit for that. Right, Tim?
Tim, down the
Maybe I
East
could.
Coast. Go, starting with Maine.
Okay, it goes Maine, then Massachusetts? No. Yeah, I think it's Massachusetts. That might be wrong.
It is, and it like coast-wise, I guess that's right because
Because
it's
the
like
islands.
you have Vermont and New Hampshire, and
Oh, yeah.
in between, but those aren't really. But then then there's Massachusetts, and then I guess Connecticut would be underneath that. And wow, when I have to like do it on the spot, I guess it would be Connecticut, and then New York, and then New Jersey. Rhode Island is next to Connecticut for those of you who don't know, and then Delaware is right south of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all just like the east, like this very east coast. Maryland would be next to Delaware.
See, that's what's amazing about this country is that when it first started on the East Coast, they're like, okay, we're going to drop all these little small states and boundaries. And then as soon as we moved out west, we're like, let's just make a bunch
Here's
of big
one.
ass. Yeah. Let's just make everything huge because
Let's
who
make
wants?
this a lot easier on ourselves.
Yeah, because who wants to have because Rhode Island is tiny, right? Isn't that like the smallest?
Rhode Island is really tiny.
Right. So,
Even like Delaware too. Like Delaware is really small, but then it's crazy because you get to Maryland, and then after that, like, you go through like half the coast, and it's like 7 states, and then the bottom half of that East Coast is like it's like Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and that's so it's like 5 states.
Which,
the
like,
7,
actually,
like mini states on top.
I would say Virginia is technically like part of the top.
Is it?
Yeah,
I would say that the bottom half is like just the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida is like as much as all the rest. Well, actually,
I don't think you could fit Los Angeles in Rhode Island, by the way. I feel like LA is just too damn big. Like I think LA is the size of Rhode Island. What's that?
I've never been to LA. Is it really that big? It's the size of Rhode Island.
LA is huge.
it isn't.
Well, the LA area
County-
is huge.
LA County, yeah, but like the parts of LA that I like that someone from LA would call LA is, I mean, yes, it's still big, but it's not as big as Rhode Island. But LA County probably is, yeah.
Well, so Los Angeles proper, if you click on Google Maps, it outlines the city boundaries for you. And Los Angeles proper could be a small state like Rhode Island. I mean, it's huge. It's still pretty big, is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
And then you go beyond that.
Like, okay, this is what they call LA for sure. But, like, on the other side of the 405 and above the 101, like, east of the 405 and north of the 101, I don't think most people would consider that part of Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah, not really.
Is there still traffic on those parts of the 405 and the 101? Or
Yes.
Very much so.
still part of LA?
It wouldn't be LA if it wasn't traffic, my friend.
When the traffic stops, it's not LA.
Tim likes
That's
to
the way that
downplay
East Coast person-
the LA tropes and stereotypes, but they're very much true, so just don't listen.
Motherfucker, this shit has San Pedro as part of LA. Like, that's not LA.
No? I don't even know where San
No.
Pedro is.
It's like Long Beach, Torrance area.
What about
not
Azusa?
LA.
Is that part of LA?
I wouldn't call Azusa part of LA. Like, going to Azusa feels like you're going to another fucking state. It's so far away. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyway.
I would outline LA, like, honestly, if you did what you said on Google Maps, like, where it turns into Beverly Hills, like, I wouldn't call above that and, like, to the west of that part of LA.
Okay. That's fair. I'll give you that, Tim.
All right.
So what
Anyways,
is your second and final beer tonight, Tim? Since
we didn't even. Oh my god.
That's a good question.
We went off a little bit of a
Halfway
tangent
through the
there.
damn thing.
No, I've been saving it. So
Wow. Oh my god. I'm sorry we just put you through East Coast geography.
Oh, dude, I'm
have a
good.
sip of beer.
And also, New Hampshire does technically touch the coast, so I
Does
was
it?
wrong.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
So my last one is the Resin. I think it's a double Imperial IPA from Sixpoint. I actually had the low res, which is the session version of this already before, but I haven't had this one. And I actually have had their Bengala before, so I was interested to give this one a shot. I like it's in the green can. I like the Resin name. I think that's a cool name. None of us have been getting that aroma, or at least talking about it. This one definitely comes through really flowery and kind of sweet, and smells like it might have some stone fruit action going on.
I thought you were gonna say sweet and sour.
Yeah, it smells a little sweet and sour. That's probably not sour at all. Let's see. It's a little. This one is also a little ambery, a little malty for an IPA, but it is also a double IPA, which I've heard people say like you expect more malt profile from a double IPA than a single. I never understood it that way, but I don't think that's correct. Dan, is that something that you would say you would consider correct?
The only reason I would agree with somebody who says that it's double malted is because I think in order to be classified as a double IPA, it's got to have double the ingredients of what a normal IPA would have. So there is, and that's why you'll see, like, I think like a double IPA is a little darker than that because I guess they use a little bit more malt.
Okay, well, I guess that's true then. This one definitely comes through. It's, to steal the name, it's resinous. It's definitely like kind of dank, old style kind of hops. What has it got? It's got. It doesn't list the hop profiles here, but I wonder what they're using in here because it comes through. It's probably got some of those sea hops. I really like this one actually. It's good stuff. The average on this, they got it 4. I'll probably give it 3.75.
I like that.
I'm just that way. I got to give it the lower score than the blonde ale, right? Just to be different or whatever, right, Adrian?
Yes, sir. Always got to be different. You got to think different too, Tim. Where did I hear that before?
This is true.
We're gonna take a next and final break, third and final break, and when we come back, Tim, I think you know what's coming, and Dan, I think you know what's coming. We're going to announce our top beer. All right, we'll be right back.
Over on the Pro Wrestling Only feed, we dive deep inside the wrestling business with a stacked army of experts leading the way. The feed features potpourri shows such as This Week in Wrestling, Greetings from Allentown, Psychology is Dead, Puro Puri, Stacy and Elliot's Bogus Journey, and the Military Industrial Suplex. We also have shows that focus intently on certain topics like Letters from Center Stage, Space City, and NWA Classics on Demand Adventure, Through the Years, Strong Style History, Strong Style Story, and Mount Olympus. Plus, the feed has the full archives of legendary shows like Titans of Wrestling, Where the Big Boys Play, Letters from Kayfabe, and much more. And on our popular Place to Be Nation Pop podcast feed, we offer such great shows as the Glenn Butler Podcast Hour Spectacular, Rank and File, PTBN Dadcast, Go Home in a Box, NBA Team, and Lucha Undead, as well as a veritable podcast heaven for comics fans with the Hard Traveling Fanboys, Sellers Points, Todd Weber's Conversation, Geek and Sassy, and Imaginary Stories podcasts.
You can find all of these current shows plus archives of our past podcasts, including The Kevin Kelly Show, as well by subscribing to all of our feeds on iTunes, and while there, be sure to rate and leave feedback as well. All of these shows, plus others, available on PlaceToBeNation.com, where we cover pro wrestling, sports, movies, comics, plus in-depth stretch projects and more. Be sure to support our site by using PlaceToBeNation.com/Amazon when shopping online, and download our free PTB Vintage Vault Refresh ebooks via the links on our site. We also want to thank our friends at Bonehead's Wing Bar in West Warwick, Rhode Island, and Fall River, Massachusetts, TheHistoryOfWrestling.com, and Scott Keats' Blog of Doom. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr as well. PlaceToBeNation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
So we're back. Before we get into it, Dan, so since we have you here, you're our inaugural guest on Top Beer. I want to know a little bit more about you. First of all, how did you and Tim meet? Tell me about that really quick.
Tim and I met through our mutual, would you call it employment, Tim?
Very loosely. That's like a weird way to use that term. Or affiliation.
Affiliation with WrestlingWithWords.com. We both are part of the Wrestling with Words network. Tim, you don't have anything. Do you have anything specifically on the audio network or no? Right? You're
not
an
on the audio
right?
network. Yeah, I've our podcast is on Place to Be Nation and PWO. My stuff mostly. I came in with the idea that I was gonna do a podcast that kind of never came together, and then I was gonna do another podcast project, and that fell apart. So I ended up not really doing much except for reviewing ROH TV for about a month and a half, and then quitting that. And then I think the biggest thing I did was give Okada versus Ishii from the G1 last year, like, under 3 stars, so everyone lost their fucking mind on the internet about me. And then giving Skrull versus Mike Bailey from an RPW show like 1 star, and everyone got pissed off about that as well. That's kind of my claim to fame for Wrestling with Words attribution.
I didn't know that you gave that match a 1 star, but you know what? Low-key glad you did. I like both those guys. But stick it
that
to
match
the
was bad. Yeah.
And you guys just kind of through chatting and stuff, you realize you guys both also like beer, right? Is that how it sort of went down?
Yeah, we had Tim on an episode of I haven't even plugged us once yet. The Sports Entertainment Shrinks, this wrestling podcast that I do for the Wrestling with Words audio network, and we had him on an episode, and through that we sort of started talking about both of our mutual loves of beer, and even we like take over the Wrestling with Words Slack chat every now and then talking about beer.
Nice.
And it's grown into, he mentioned a couple weeks ago that he wanted to have me on. My work schedule's just been out of control, but now we finally got to sit down and do it. I'm glad I did. I've had an absolute blast this evening.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on. I apologize for being a terrible host. Says Tim.
Oh, you're fine. You're a better host than me.
But so tell me, so when you're not drinking beer, when you're not doing wrestling stuff, what do you do for fun in New Jersey? And where do you live in New Jersey, by the way? Where exactly? I mean, you don't have to be specific if you don't want to.
I'm in New Jersey. I'm about 25 miles away from New York City.
Okay.
So you'd think I'd have all the fun that New York City has to offer, but
right.
I'm just never up for that traffic. So my dad lives in New York City, so I do spend a good amount of time in there. But I guess when I'm not doing beer or wrestling, I'm catering to the every whim of my my ball and chain, my girlfriend, or I'm cooking because I'm very into cooking as of late, and I'm a big soccer fan as well. So I do a lot of soccer watching and news reading. I guess I'm big into graphic design as well. Like, designing shit on the side. I design all my artwork for my posts on Wrestling with Words. I guess I just recently built a bed. That's the biggest thing I've done in my entire life.
Built a bed?
Yeah, I took apart my old bed frame because it was old and needed a box spring, and the new mattress I bought didn't require a box spring, and so I bought a new bed on Amazon Prime, and I'm currently have my feet hoisted up on it, and there's nothing like making something.
Yeah.
That
you get a real sense of accomplishment. I bought this desk recently. I should post a picture on Twitter. I say I'll do that. I'll never do it. And all I had to do was screw in the 4 legs of the desk, and I felt like I did something, super productive that day. So there you go.
You made it. So nobody can ever take away how many screws you put in.
Exactly.
That's yours.
All right, so that's cool. So you live in have you been to have you been to the West Coast at all? Anywhere on the West Coast?
No, the furthest west I've been was Texas, and it was on my 2017 bucket list to get to LA, but I don't know if I'll be able to fit it in this year.
Mm-hmm.
If I do, it would be wonderful. If not, I will just make it the first thing I do in 2018.
Listen, you're not missing much.
Whoa!
It is the dream.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just an East Coast boy like myself. It is the dream.
I knew Tim was going to react that way. That's why I said that. No.
You know my opinion on anyone who moves from California to, let's say, Denver, Colorado. They're just admitting to themselves that they're not good enough for the dream.
Tim, are you born and raised out there?
Yeah, born and raised Southern California.
Yeah.
Love
Both of us are, to be fair. I just don't live in Los Angeles.
You just emigrated out. You got out of there as fast as you could. The traffic was
Well, I mean, where we're from, there is no traffic unless it's during the winter season when all the Canadians and Minnesotans come back down from their cold winter slumbers. So it wasn't really so much the traffic as it was the culture. The desert is a bit of a shithole, to be perfectly fair. That's why he doesn't. That's why Tim doesn't. And it was so bad, Dan, that I went to Utah. Like, that's how bad it is in the desert.
Oh man!
That I would rather live in Utah than live in Palm Springs. You know what I'm saying? And, at least it's not. At least it's not Idaho or Alabama or one of those other states that nobody ever wants to live in. So
Idaho just got a brewery built up there. Who is it that has their big space in Idaho now? I don't remember. Anyways.
Well,
I didn't know that.
When you're a state like Idaho, you got to do something with your time, right? And you might as well build a decent.
True. I think Lagunitas opened up like a big.
So they one in Chicago, California, now Idaho.
I don't know. That might be wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised. It just seems slightly unnecessary.
Right. Oh, Mother Earth. That's what it is. Mother Earth opened up a big facility up there. That's like a totally different brewery, but so they're going to be doing a lot of their production up there because the land is really affordable.
Well, yeah. I mean, Idaho is just a big overflow parking lot for the Mormon Church, so they got plenty of they got plenty of land to go around. All right.
I derailed Adrian's conversation.
No. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. No, that's all I wanted. So you were born and raised. You don't have an accent for being from Jersey. I always imagine people from Jersey have an accent, but that's just me.
You like that stereotypical, like I'm from New
Jersey.
Hey,
I'm from New Jersey. I was born and raised. I don't know. I'm just being an idiot right now, but you understand what I'm saying.
It's funny. There's this Romanian girl that just started working at the bar that I work at, and she just told me that she's like, "Where are you from? You have a really thick accent." And I was like, "Here," and she's like, "But you sound like you have an accent from somewhere else." I'm like, "No, I guess this is a New Jersey accent. I don't know. It varies on where you go. Like, you could go like 20 minutes east of me, and then people will have that like, "Hey, yo, use," and you're like, I don't have that.
Yeah. Well, who do we have on recently? Tim, Pete or Peter? What was it?
Pete. Oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. From Greetings from Allentown.
Yeah, he's from the East Coast, and I heard an accent with him for sure.
Yeah, he's got a nice accent that comes through.
Yeah.
Is it like that Philadelphia, like phone and home? Like that's how they.
Sort of.
No, I think he was a Boston guy.
Oh, is that what it was?
Obviously.
Yeah.
But we've
And I'm
had
trying to remember
somebody.
his last name. God damn it, his last name is like another name, but it's like one letter off, so it's making it hard for me to remember it. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No, but I was just curious about that because we have had somebody on our get to know show that was from Jersey and had a bit of an accent, and it's cool for me. It's cool to hear all the different kinds of accents. But I just noticed with you that you didn't have one. And Tim and I we're both from California, and California doesn't really have an accent. I was telling somebody the other day.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We don't have an accent. We just say like a lot. You know what I mean?
You don't hear it because you're from here.
Okay. You really?
Tim, do you hear mine though? Because
Not really.
Well,
just
Dan,
sound like
do
a guy.
you hear an accent with us? Let me ask you this, since you're from Jersey, do you hear an accent with Tim or me or myself?
not really.
Not
but
really.
I think the reason you don't hear an accent with me is because my dad isn't from this country, and normally, so like my dad learned English at a very young age because he was fascinated by American culture, and when he emigrated over here, he had already learned English so he learned English without an accent. Like he's got some people in his family that learn English, and they still even his own brother moved to America before my dad did, and he has a thick Italian accent. Like my dad's. You wouldn't know that my dad was born and raised in Italy for the first 16, 17 years of his life.
Wow. So your dad's Italian?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I guess
No,
in that
he's actually Croatian. He was just born and raised in Italy.
Japanese as it comes. But
He's
born and
Turkish.
raised
His family just moved there. They were in the church, yeah.
Okay.
But so I that might contribute to it because people are baffled that my dad has no accent. You can't tell where my dad is from because he doesn't have a New York accent. He doesn't have an Italian accent. It's just I guess he just speaks English.
Yeah.
So I guess I picked that up from him, and that might be why.
You know what's funny? Is there such thing as an Armenian accent? Because the Kardashians
Yes.
and there's a lot of Armenians in Los Angeles. There is an Armenian accent, Tim. You've heard it?
Yeah, but you know what's funny is it I hate to even say it, but it sounds very similar to just the really I don't want to even say this because people will think it's offensive. Maybe no, they won't. It's not offensive. Anyways, I said way worse shit on the Shrinks. Anyways,
That's true.
It sounds
True.
like the Chola girls, from Coachella Valley.
Oh, really?
It's very similar to what the Armenian accent sounds like.
So they kind of sound and look Mexican, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, Dan, I really appreciated having you on the show. I'm glad I would love for you to come back, by the way, if we can do this again.
I'll come back anytime. This was an absolute blast.
Yes, it definitely
Yeah,
was.
this show is not a guest or co-host show, so being on here is I guess special, and so it's gonna be a very certain few people who I'm definitely cool with having back. The other show, I try hell to not have repeat guests, so it's gonna be totally different with this because we're not gonna have people on here very often. But Dan, honestly, if I'm perfectly honest, Dan, this was supposed to be a lot of different stuff was supposed to coincide. And that just didn't come together, but now it just happened. So it's fuck it, just do it now. What is funny is last week we interviewed Andrew. So now we've officially hit all three of the Shrinks kind of over the course of the past couple months.
Nice.
Dig it. You got all three of the premier wrestling audio voices. As you said yourself, you gave us a really nice shout this week. That made me really itching to come back to podcasting. I haven't done it in a month. So
yeah, I miss you.
I missed you, and I missed the microphone.
Well, Adrian.
Yes, sir.
Is this are we bantered off, or
Yes.
do you want to do?
No. Damn, I think
hit some quick. What was your first girlfriend like?
No, it's okay.
Do you prefer chocolate or strawberry ice cream?
I'm all for any of these questions.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys throw at me, I'm all about. This has been the most low pressure. Even my own podcast that I try to keep low pressure. This has been more low pressure than that. Maybe it's because there's beer involved.
Well, listen, I want to keep an aura of mystery around you, so we're going to put a pin in those questions for the next time you come back.
Lovely.
We will definitely ask those. But since you are our first official guest on the show, I want you to do the honors, and because I'm trying to be a good host now, I want you to announce, Dan, because this is the time, Tim. You know what time this is, Tim. This is time to announce our top beer. Okay, so Dan, please do us the honor and tell us what your top beer was tonight from the brewery you had.
Sure. Okay, so guys, I said that I gave the peak of ripeness a 5 or 4.5 on Untapped, and it's great beer, but it doesn't provide me with the balance, and maybe it's just because the peak oil is a 9% beer that packs a lot of character and a lot of citrus and a lot of like I don't want to say a lot of smooth because that doesn't make any sense, but it's a very smooth 9% beer.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess with that being said, the peak oil from Magnify Brewing is my top beer of the night. It's it's a little hoppy. There's a little more going on than the peak of ripeness, but at the end of the day, it was for what it was, and being a 9% beer, it was so deceptive, and I had, it was a much simpler drink than I ever could have anticipated something of that percentage and with the name, and it just seemed a little daunting when I undertook it. For somebody who might be nervous about a beer with oil in the name, it's a pretty easy drink. So I guess unequivocally my top beer of the night.
Nice. All right. Well, you heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. That was his top beer. Thank you for that, Dan. Tim,
Sure.
what is your top beer for the night?
My top beer is, and I'm gonna do a cheeky clown shoes Josh the Guava King beer on the side here as I explain it. My top beer for the night is, even though I gave it the lower rating on Untapped, is actually the resin. I could see myself drinking the resin more often than the Sweet Action, just because of the style, honestly. So even though I personally thought the Sweet Action was better, just like as a beer, I think not made better, but just I like the flavors, I like the balance, I like what they were doing. I liked it for the style. It was really good. Like I said, I think that I'm more often going to be in the mood to drink something like the resin than I am the Sweet Action. So that's kind of my answer for that.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you for that. So my top beer tonight, and it was kind of it wasn't a tough call, but I'm gonna go with the Princess Yum Yum by Denver Beer Company, their Raspberry Kolsch, only because it's, the Sun Drenched beer was a good beer, but to me it's a bit more of the same. Like I've had, a lot of similar beers to this. The Yum Yum is the most different beer that I've had in a while, and it's fruity, it's sweet, it's tart, it's delicious. So that is my top beer for tonight. I'm gonna go with the Princess Yum Yum Raspberry Kolsch by Denver Beer Company. So there's that. Alrighty.
Jesus Christ, this beer is ridiculous.
What?
I'm sorry, guys. This beer is really good. Everyone should drink it.
Which one?
Keep going.
Your top beer?
This is the Josh the Guava King.
Oh, nice. Okay. So anyway, before we go, Dan, did you want to plug anything? Any shows? Anything that you're working on?
Actually, that's a question. That's one of the hard-hitting. We're gonna take a dip into the Lucha Undead category, as I'm gonna ask you a hard-hitting question here. What's your full name?
Daniel Joseph Scotti.
Okay, so your full name is Daniel. Damn it. Okay.
What did you think it was?
No, I thought I said Daniel instinctually, but then I stopped myself because I was like, I don't know. I don't know that that's your full name. I might be wrong. You could be one of the few. I don't know.
You just assume my name?
Yeah, exactly. I hate when I do that, when I know someone by a nickname, or not a nickname, but like a shortened name, a familiar style name, and then I just assume that, like, oh, his name is Chris, so his name must be Christopher. Oh, turns out Christian. And you're like, fuck.
It's actually Danelius.
Yes, exactly. I mean, your dad is like Italian as fuck, so
yeah,
you could have a weird ass Donatello, and you just go by Dan because Dom is dumb. It's a dumb name. No,
no
wow.
disrespect.
All right.
Don's out there.
Yes, especially not Dom Guarini. I don't need him stretching my ass. So Daniel, what do you need to plug other than your phenomenal articles talking about the Great Khali fantasy booking on Wrestling with Words?
Oh man, yeah, I'm the king of fantasy booking over on WrestlingWithWords.com.
I usually hate fantasy booking, but your shit is always so funny. I love it.
I hate most fantasy booking too, but I've come to enjoy like just sitting there and being like, okay, how can I fantasy book something ridiculous here? And I've got a couple other things coming out in the next couple of weeks. One in the form of a podcast, I believe. Maybe not. I'm not sure. And the other is a Roman Reigns itinerary for SummerSlam. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then I guess I would be a terrible podcast host if I didn't plug my own podcast, the Sports Entertainment Shrinks, SE Shrinks on Twitter, and be on the lookout for a Kickstarter campaign that I might be launching. I can't say anything about it yet, but I'm in the process of working on a Kickstarter campaign for something that I would like money for. So send it my way. Thank you guys for having me on the show. This has been an absolute blast.
Thank you for being on our show.
This is wild speculation, but I'm just hoping that this Kickstarter is going to be a Suplex Cop wedding.
If not, there will be a second Kickstarter campaign to fund a Suplex Cop wedding.
Yes. Adrian.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to say things that people should check out?
Yes. Well, wait, first of all, did you plug your stuff, Tim?
I will.
Okay. Well, you go first. Do us the honors.
Okay. I did Pod Blasts with Quentin Moody on
Good brother.
The greatest brother, my best brother, on Place to Be Nation podcast feed. We did a Pod Blast talking about Lucha Forever's Lucha Live 4, I believe, that has like a sub name that's dumb that I can't remember at the moment, but that's how all of their shows work. It's a lot of fun. I also did a Pod Blast with Jamesy from the DKP show. It was like, I love Jamesy and I love him on the DKP show, but like, it's this weird thing where when I know that I'm doing a podcast, like I did one with Alan Cunahan, when I know that I'm doing a podcast with someone who does a show or works for the Wrestling Observer website, I do mark out a little bit just for how cool that is, that I'm like a step away from Dave Meltzer when it comes to wrestling opinion stuff. So we did a podcast doing the greatest WWE wrestler of all time case for the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, which on its face is absurd. But if you listen to our opinions, I think we make a pretty coherent case for why you should follow him. This Week in Wrestling took a week off for Pete to go to the SCI. We said that we were going to take the week off. We were actually secretly weren't going to take the week off, but then we ended up actually doing it. And I think as this came out probably just a few days ago, I was on Burning Spirits doing a mid-year review of 2017. I really like Burning Spirits style because so many people do their mid-year review in June or July, but they waited until August so you can get that full long view on the mid-year. We kind of just came in and hit all the different topics. We talked a little bit about indies in Japan, but we also talked about European wrestling. We talked a lot about WWE, which is unexpected from the three of us because it was me, Kevin, and Drew, three guys who don't give a shit about WWE, kind of talked about it for quite a bit, honestly. And then from there, I mean, just follow me on Twitter at Lucha Undead and follow me on Tapped, also at Lucha Undead. Perfect.
Yes, do the same for me as well. Follow me at Delaboots on Twitter and at Delaboots on Untapped, and follow Dan as well if you're up for it. Dan Scotti on Untapped. Stay in the loop of what we're drinking, Tim, you've been keeping busy. You're always keeping busy. I know. I check out your Untapped feed. You're always doing something different. I like that. So it's good inspiration for me to do something different too. Because you know me, Tim. I find one thing I like and I stick with it. But no, lately I've been trying to try, even when I'm not doing the show, do different breweries, different kinds of beers, different things like that. So definitely check us out on there and keep up with what we're doing. And we have a Discord, folks. We have a Discord. I will try to be better about posting a link to that. We have a Discord server, so whenever people want to go on there and chat or ask questions, etc., just that'll be a good opportunity to do that. And Tim, before we go officially tonight, you have one more thing you want to say. One final thing that we say at the end of every show.
Yeah. So I guess this week it's especially about good beers, obviously. But it's also, I guess, about good Boston accents. And,
God.
and, oh, geez, I don't even know. I guess good, we're talking about the best brothers, so of course, good brothers. And good night, everybody.